Not good news. On the second to last play in overtime, Bo fractured a bone in his right ankle. He's scheduled to have surgery Tuesday of this week, which will put him out for the rest of the season.
We interrupt our programming. This is a national emergency.
My fellow owners, distinguished managers, and of course the great people of this storied league, today we gather not just to talk about the first year of this league, but to honor the sacred democratic process through which this league conducts its affairs. Suspicious negotiations, complaining, and close to crying for some owners. Over the last year, we have grown our faculty and staff to include, but not limited to, Ryan Messmore, Professor of Grammar, coming from Team Carbon Rhino 54. Billy Latch, Offensive Studies Professor, Dean of Student Discipline, Team Brojob. And lastly, Davis Lynch, Sex Education Professor of Team Dirty Dave 1776. Over the next couple of years, we will look to expand our faculty and continue to search for the right-minded and devout professors. Over the past year, we have had numerous incidents and debacles. Some might even say tomfoolery. My fellow owners, historians will remember this moment, when a simple proposal adding one IR slot mid-season nearly escalated into World War III inside this league. Reports from unnamed insiders stated that several owners were on the verge of tears. Our brave manager Ryan Crothers, of course, of Team Ryan Crothers, began burning through tissues at a rate FEMA classified as unsustainable. The league was divided, suspicion was high, alliances formed and crumbled within hours. And at the center of the chaos, the Griswold clan. Mitch and his older brother Zach stood their ground like a true political operative. They made this bill nearly impossible to pass, reportedly demanding FAB compensation for their vote. FAB, for an IR slot. Bold, unapologetic, some might say controversial or illegal, and ultimately unsuccessful. Not one owner paid up. The standoff grew tense. The group chat became a battlefield. Democracy trembled. With the league on the brink of collapse and an incredibly genius idea produced at the likes of your commissioner, a compromise emerged. A 1-week, 3-player showdown hand-selected by the owners engaged in this primitive gladiator bout. Some are calling it the Trial of 3. Billy, champion of addition, believing the IR slot is a quintessential need mid-season. Mitch, guardian of tradition, Stanley firming against it. Each owner picked 3 players. Those players battled in the arena known as the weekly scoreboard. And in the end, Mitch prevailed. He proved once and for all a principle older than the Constitution itself. Ball does not lie. The IR slot amendment was struck down. Peace was restored. Crothers' tears dried. And democracy lived to see another waiver claim. And let us not forget one of the most concerning events of the season, the Logan situation. Already operating with what experts described as a dog shit roster, he faced a new crisis. His phone was confiscated. Without a device, without freedom, without hope, and some rumors proclaiming without discipline, Logan was unable to set his lineup. Analysts are calling it the worst logistical failure since the Iowa caucus, a humanitarian crisis. A very on-brand outcome for Logan's team. And lastly, a bigger technology fumble than the Dan Snyder, Coach Gruden incident. Still, no news has come out of the cause of this phone confiscation. Majority of fans are blaming Logan for yet again failing to obey the simple house rules. And sources say he has 2 more years of this probationary period. My fellow owners, we must now address the event many have called the Week 6 catastrophe. An attack coordinated, brutal, and suspiciously well-timed struck the heart of Mitch's undefeated campaign, a shadowy rogue organization known throughout fantasy circles as Al-Qaeda, a group banned from Sleeper, ESPN, and most YMCA rec leagues, launched a devastating assault on Team Burrow. Key players were wiped out, starters vanished from the lineup, injuries appeared from thin air. It was chaos, pure, unfiltered fantasy terrorism. Mitch's undefeated run, once viewed as inevitable, was suddenly in grave danger. And naturally, Mitch began asking questions. Because to him, this didn't look random. No, this looked coordinated, premeditated, orchestrated by someone with the knowledge of Burrow's internal weaknesses. The accusation: Mitch has stated publicly and repeatedly that he believes another owner knew about the attack ahead of time. He narrowed his suspects down to two names: that rat fuck John and Israel, who Mitch claims acted a little too calm during the aftermath. Mitch is demanding a full investigation from the League Oversight Committee. Though no such committee exists, and no one plans to create one, still, he insists justice will be served. Now, finishing notes. Billy also informed Zach repeatedly that Anthony Richardson is a top 8 quarterback, and he would not be lowering his price. Now let's look to the future. The lottery will be going live here soon. The target goal is to complete the lottery before the NFL rookie draft here in a couple weeks. To the owners and teams who are planning for the future, Logan, Johnny, Joe, Ryan Messmore, McMahon, Zach, Davis, you guys all suck. It probably won't get better, but good luck. Future's to you. And now, my fellow owners, we arrive at the moment every league waits for: the transfer of power. Because after all the chaos, the negotiations, the scandals, there was still football to be played. And standing at the end of it all, your champion. This season was not won by accident. It was won through discipline, preparation, and unwavering belief in process. As Commissioner Gordon, I navigated not only through the league's governance, but the battlefield itself. Round 1, I faced Ryan Crothers, a respected opponent, a fierce competitor, a man still emotionally recovering from the IR slot crisis of 2025. He fought bravely, he fought hard, he lost. Just a simple 220 to the dome. Round 2. Next came Garrett Lowry, a dangerous man, a team so aggressive in the trade market throughout the year that he shut down Mitch and Davis's favorite Indian bazaar market. A team of Al-Qaeda-esque explosive potential, the kind of roster that keeps you checking projections every 5 minutes. But when the dust settled, he lost. Another 190 to the dome. Adjustments were made, experience prevailed, the mission continued. All the while, on the other side of the bracket, Dom takes 208 to the dome. Through losing both quarterbacks and Joe putting on an absolute masterclass of ball knowledge by outbidding Dom for Gardner Minshew by $1. Joe's wisdom and cunning play was the iceberg that sunk Dom's Titanic of a year. And then the final test, the Super Bowl. Team Bro Job, a worthy adversary, a man who has an art for trade raping. Their Trojan horse and snakish trades were so good that people call them disciples of Israel. A team that earned its place on the league's biggest stage, a matchup that experts called too close to call. But championships are not won on projections. They're won on Sundays. They're won on football fields, not gay soccer fields, Billy. And when the final whistle blew, when the points were counted, when the hope of Team Bro Job and their families officially expired, Commissioner Gordon stood alone. Champion of the league, first of his name, King of the Andals and of the First Men, Lord of the 14 Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm, living proof that leadership starts at the top and apparently stays there. This was not a dynasty yet, but it was a statement of dominance, a statement of wit, and finally a statement of good old-fashioned ball knowledge. Ladies, Bryans, and gentlemen, and apparently minors, Logan, what we all witnessed this year was not chaos. It was democracy. It was freedom. It was the spirit of fantasy football flowing through the veins of 14 highly questionable decision makers. And as your commissioner, I vow to continue overseeing these transactions with integrity, fairness, and just the right amount of corruption. Thank you. May your rosters be strong, your waiver claims successful, and your trade requests not ignored for 48 hours. In the coming weeks, I will release the results of the yearly superlatives, executive rule changes coming this year, and the lottery update. Thank you all. And again, the State of the Union is strong. God bless America.